Hello and welcome to Once Upon a Galaxy. I'm Rowan. Oh. Astrid, I think, is in the kitchen, and let's get into it. Well, it won't be con artist. Oh, okay, Rumplestiltskin. Alright. So this captain has definitely fallen down in favour since Mythbound. Not easy for them to access the boons, but the same old plan of pick up decent statted treasures to start your game and try and leverage them so you can utilize your treasure hoard captains is a tale as old as time. We'll rotate into Primelli and it looks like we might end up... we will tie this fight courtesy of their board. We get offered a drafty window, which I think I'm going to take because we have the fortune teller, but the Ember is a pretty decent one too. As well as the Ace of Hearts, if we do end up losing a fight, it's definitely nice to have a drafty window on this kind of captain. We'll pick ourselves up a drafty window, and unfortunately the best thing we are offered here is a Minotaur. I'm just going to keep taking the biggest upfront thing, but unfortunately nothing compares to an electric with 3 treasures just that early. I'll pick up the Galactic Rock and we will get a double recruit on our Boon Willow, and I think I'm just going to put the Jack in the Box in one and scale it up a little bit. Just because of our limited shops, I'd rather get something that's going to stick around while we think about replacing everything else on our board. We get offered 6-shooter and Willow's Web, and I think I'm going to take the the 6-shooter. Given we have the Jack in the Box, that's a free proc every turn, assuming that we perfectly trade with an opponent. We unfortunately don't KO buttons because I positioned the Sunflare Glider to the back, but not the end of the world. We'll pick up the Heartseeker Bow because the others just aren't that great. We'll recruit the Ember, and we will find ourselves offered a Papa Bear as the best unit for this turn. We will recruit it, it's not the end of the world, just would have really liked one of those big old dragons that you can get at Epic to pull the board together. We will attack into the Destiny, and it looks like we might take ourselves a half-hard loss here, courtesy of a large 3 blind mice. We'll pick up the Heart because the epic treasures aren't too great. We'll cast Abracadabra and we will get an extra shop courtesy of the Pumpkin Spice Latte. We'll recruit the Stinky, and unfortunately that's just where our turn ends when we get offered a shop that would be embarrassing on turn 3. We'll rotate into Jampot with their Zeus, but it does look like we will be able to get away with only a half-hard loss here, courtesy of the Stinky. We'll find ourselves at turn 9 with a Flock of Mimics and a double Fairy Pancakes. Hopefully we get ourselves some dragons to follow that up, and we will follow that one up with a Skeleton Key. We'll get ourselves an extremely large Captain Hook, and we will go to combat against Katsu. Thankfully, it looks like our Captain Hook will be enough to get revenge on Katsu for the half-heart they dealt us on turn 4, and we will deal them a half-heart back. The 2 Skeleton Keys will proc, and we will get ourselves a whole bunch of treasures. And eventually we'll get to start turn 10 after we cast the Stroke of Midnight. We'll pick up a Wormscale Tinker, which is pretty good with all of our Dragon's Claws, and we did pick up on the turn 8 common and uncommon shop, we did get ourselves a Pan Shadow, so it is amped up a teensy bit from that. The Destiny will attack into the Stinky. It will survive, but it will end up getting KO'd one way or another, and we will full heart Primelli. We'll get ourselves a locked treasure chest, we'll get ourselves all 3 of the treasures, courtesy of that, and 3 more Dragon's Claws to boot. We'll ponder the Navi, but I think I'm just going to pick a pack of peppers, the Wormscale, and hopefully we get ourselves a Hephaestus or a Jasmine Dragon. We do rotate into Jampot and they have an Anubis, so now we need to try and think of some mechanism for dealing with that. At 400, it is going to full Heartseer when it re-summons the entire board. We do actually get quite fortunate where our back row is hefty enough to stick around. We'll get ourselves the Golden Fountain, a Lost in the Woods for a little bit of acceleration, but unfortunately Fairy Dragon is the best thing we're offered to follow it up. Again, not a spectacular one here, where we get offered the Scarecrow as realistically our best option. And I'm kind of pondering if we want to keep the Sunflare Glider around or not. I think I'm going to choose to get rid of it just to be on the safe side. I feel like there is a world where extra farewell modifiers with this Jack-in-the-Box and finding a mop might be something we need to try to do to combat the Anubis. We'll go to turn 13, get ourselves a Daisy Jones Locket, an Elven Tools, and a Gingerbread Oven. We'll cast the Presence of Gaia. We'll dig a little more off the back of our Wormskill Tinker. We do get offered a large Ironcast Dragon, which I think I'm going to recruit to the board, and we'll rotate into Jampot once again. It does look like our Captain Hook should be able to hunt down Anubis should the situation come up, but the Anubis does end up getting KO'd too soon. Thankfully, the extra stats we've acquired over the past couple of turns mean that our Captain Hook is going to be sticking around hunting, and we will be full hearting Jampot courtesy of the extra points of contact from Jack. We'll pick ourselves up Loki's Scepter and Bounty Contract, and we will proc ourselves a Scarecrow into a Trash Can and a Dragon's Crown. Now we really are getting somewhere. We'll double the back row slot, and unfortunately the best we are offered is either a Peter Pan to buff up the Tinker or a Big Teeth on the Ironcast Dragon. No dragon in the shop for the Dragon Dice this turn. The Astro rumbles, but it looks like Jampot's game must have already ended. Their board hasn't improved since the first time we fought them at Legendary, and it does look like we are going to be able to take this one home on Rumplestiltskin. Astro comes down, but it doesn't even get KO'd by the Zeus, and we will full heart Jampot and take ourselves a first place. Alright, thanks very much, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.